Well, nothing predicts happiness in life better than a good marriage, not even a hefty bank account or a great career. Yet today, fewer and fewer Americans are getting married. Sociologist Brad Wilcox says it's a dangerous trend that puts our future at risk. Wendy Griffith reports.
As director of the National Marriage Project, UVA sociologist Brad Wilcox wants you to be happy, prosperous, and, oh, by the way, save the planet. Dr. Wilcox believes the best way to do this is through marriage. In his new book, Get Married, Why Americans Must Defy the Elites, Forge Strong Families, and Save Civilization, Wilcox explains that many problems have their roots in the anti-family message and policies coming out of Washington, Hollywood, and the media, which is basically stay single without kids and make lots of money.
I think what's striking about both the online right and the mainstream left is they're often telling us that sort of the path to prosperity and the path to happiness runs away from marriage and family. And yet the facts tell us exactly the opposite. The path to prosperity runs towards marriage, and the path towards happiness runs towards marriage as well.
You argue that strong marriages can actually help save civilization. Right. How so?
Well, you know, we actually were sitting here in the shadow of Thomas Jefferson's University and his home just over there on the hill Monticello. And he, of course, was the author of the Declaration of Independence and mentioned in that declaration kind of the importance of the pursuit of happiness. It's kind of one dimension of the American experience, the American civilization. So what we're seeing now today, unfortunately, is that happiness in America is falling.
Wilcox believes the main reason behind that decline is due to fewer Americans tying the knot.
What's happened to marriage in the last really 50 years is that marriage has remained pretty strong among upper middle class Americans, Americans who have that college degree, Americans who are more affluent in one way or another. But for Americans who are in that more working class bracket, who don't have that college degree, who have an income between about $20,000 and $50,000, have really seen their marital fortunes decline a lot in recent decades.
He blames two specific factors. Working class men are less likely to have full-time employment, making them less desirable as marriage partners. And some government programs like Medicaid may pay more if you have kids and don't get married.
So there's a connection then between the way in which our public policies unintentionally end up penalizing marriage for working class couples.
For those who do choose marriage, Wilcox finds nothing but good news. Married men earn more than their single peers, even compared to those with similar backgrounds. Both men and women who get and stay married accumulate greater wealth. Married men and women with families are less lonely, less prone to suicide, and report more meaningful lives overall compared to their single and childless peers. And husbands and wives who adopt a we before me approach to marriage, such as sharing a joint checking account, are happier and less divorce-prone compared to those who take a me-first approach. Then there is one group happiest of all, married couples who attend religious services.
People who are married and who are church-going are the happiest Americans. And that's because both, again, on average, you know, both folks who enjoy the benefit of a spouse and folks who enjoy the benefit of being part of a congregational community, a church community, are more likely to be embedded in intense social relationships that give their lives a sense of meaning, direction, purpose, and solidarity. And that translates into more happiness.
And while it's true Christian couples divorce, Wilcox says stats show that couples who truly practice their faith are more likely to stay together, as opposed to those who just identify as Christian.
People who attend church more often are between 30 and 50% less likely to get divorced. So doesn't divorce proof your marriage, but it certainly reduces your risk of divorce to be, and this is church going.
Not only are they less likely to get divorced, Wilcox maintains married Christian couples report the most satisfying sex lives of all married couples.
They also have more sex than their fellow Americans who are not religious, and they are more likely to be sexually satisfied than their fellow Americans who are not religious.
Why is marriage our most important institution?
I think because we're social animals, as Aristotle said, and really nothing matters for us more than the quality of our relations with friends and even more so with family. So it's kind of the core institution for basically guiding and directing this, most central institution in our lives.
Wendy Griffith, CBN News, Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, here's the wonderful marriage advice for you. If you want a happy marriage, go to church together. And if you're single, one of the best places to find is in church. And that way you know they're a regular churchgoer, and that after you get married, you'll go together to church. It is a key to happiness, the kingdom of God. When you put him first, you seek him first, all these other things will be added unto you.